We all operate on the exact same glitchy programming. It's a silent running loop in the background of our minds that constantly tells us, "I'll be happy when." We tell ourselves we'll finally relax when we lose those 20 pounds. We'll feel respected when we get that promotion. We'll be complete when we find the perfect partner. But when you speak to those at the top, they often reveal a persistent, quiet hollowness that the achievement was supposed to cure. They reached the finish line, looked around, and realized the destination didn't change how they felt about themselves. You see this constantly with highly successful celebrities. They dedicate their entire lives to achieving worldwide fame, capturing the validation of millions. Yet, even at the peak of their careers, they describe a sense of internal emptiness that external applause couldn't fill. That happens because the chase for fame is often a proxy for something else. We try to patch a deep internal sense of unworthiness by stacking up external, quantifiable achievements, hoping that if enough people clap, the unworthiness will disappear. This strategy is destined for disappointment. Dedicating decades of your life to reaching a specific external destination fails because the destination itself does not contain the psychological reward you were promised. This visualization illustrates the reality of goal setting. When you look at a physical goal, like a house or a trophy, and see it peeled back, it reveals that we aren't really chasing the object itself. We're actually chasing the abstract feeling we believe that outcome will provide. Underneath the ambition, we are usually hunting for three basic things. We just want to feel safe, we want to feel loved, or we want to feel validated by the people around us. This graph shows exactly what happens when you achieve that physical milestone. You get a sharp spike of emotional satisfaction, but it rapidly decays back to baseline. The underlying void returns, and the mind immediately starts searching for the next goal. Take a 25-year mortgage. People obsess over paying it off, but that desperation rarely has anything to do with owning bricks and mortar. It's about escaping a deep-seated fear of financial scarcity. It's the pursuit of feeling safe. If you don't address that internal fear, the brain just invents new threats the day the mortgage is paid off. Suddenly, you're worried about property taxes, about utility bills, or market crashes, maintaining that exact same state of scarcity. Unaddressed emotional needs turn ambition into an infinite loop, a cycle of temporary highs followed by a return to permanent dissatisfaction. If you want proof of where this loop leads, you have to look at the extreme end of the human lifespan. A podiatrist who spends 20 years treating patients in their 70s, 80s, and 90s gets a very clear view of human fulfillment. By that age, life has stripped away the noise, leaving two starkly different ways a human life concludes. It all depends on whether a person spent their years relying on internal growth or external metrics. Some are trapped in a devolving mindset, still consumed by external comparison. You'll see a 92-year-old woman resenting her daughter-in-law because of her skin, still chasing a $12 moisturizer to fix a feeling that skincare can't reach. You also see the cost of deferred living, pensioners spending their limited funds on lottery tickets for a someday dream. When asked what they'd do if they won, they admit they feel too old to actually enjoy the result. Contrast that with joyful octogenarians who maintain a ferocious curiosity. They have a spark for life, they're constantly growing, and engage in the world with a sense of play rather than a sense of lack. Aging presents a harsh binary. We are either actively evolving by seeking new experiences, or we are devolving, allowing our world to shrink. There is no static middle ground. Aging well has nothing to do with how your skin looks or how much wealth you accumulate. It relies on the internal choice to keep growing right now, instead of waiting for a destination to grant you permission to be happy. This realization shifts the focus of the chase. Since we pursue external goals solely for the feelings they provide, we can explore the more direct path, addressing those feelings internally. Practicing unconditional self-acceptance starts to dissolve the desperate need for external validation. It shifts the source of approval from the world to yourself, making your sense of worth independent of your current achievements. This leads to a state where the judgments, triggers, and opinions of other people lose their weight. Your internal reality is no longer a prisoner to external circumstances. Getting there requires a shift in your fundamental worldview. As Albert Einstein suggested, the most important decision a person can make is whether they believe they live in a friendly or a hostile universe. Deciding to view the universe as benevolent changes the nature of struggle. When you trust that things work out, painful obstacles and setbacks stop being threats and become the tools that force your personal growth. Real confidence is an internal fortress. It isn't a curated life. It is the freedom of no longer walking around getting offended, taking things personally, or being triggered by the actions of others. So why set massive goals at all? Their function is not to provide happiness upon arrival, but to force us into motion. They are the vehicle that pulls us out of our comfort zones. They launch us into the hero's journey. The daily struggles, the rejections, and the fears are simply the dragons you must encounter to evolve into the next version of yourself. Reaching the peak provides a brief moment of rest before the next climb appears. The fulfillment lives in the friction and the exertion of the climb itself, not in the view from the top. You are intrinsically worthy simply because you exist. That worthiness is a baseline, not a metric you have to earn through success or physical perfection. Look at your own life. What external milestone are you waiting for to finally feel complete? Identify it, and then choose to practice that sense of completeness now, rather than waiting for the result to grant it to you. Life is not a waiting room for a destination. It is the process of evolving until your final breath. Choose to feel whole right now and embrace the climb.